Welcome back to the next part of the show, and we are now at the reading part, and we're gonna start reading the text about two men and what does he do and how do they become famous. All right, so these are the two famous men by learning some skills, and they developed themselves and become famous. How could that be? How could that happen? We will read right now. Alonzo Clemens. Alonzo Clemens is from Boulder, Colorado. According to Alonzo's mother, Evelyn, he was always trying to sculpt things as a baby, but she did not realize what he was doing. And then he got hold of some modeling clay, and she soon realized that he had a special talent. Before he could even feed himself or get dressed, he could make models of animals that were correct in every detail. Okay, so this man is making some models, and especially models about animals. All right, they sculpt. All right, something like that. As Alonzo grew, his ability to sculpt increased rapidly. Yes, sculpt. But he did not develop another skills which children normally learn. Some doctors call people like Alonzo savants. They have developmental disability like autism, a condition which makes it is hard for them to communicate or perform every task. But at the same time, they have a skill which they can do incredibly well. In some cases, that skill involves math or memory. In other cases, music or painting. With Alonzo, it is sculpture. It just takes only 45 minutes for Alonzo to complete a small work. Recently, however, he has begun to do more ambitious projects. His most impressive work is called Three Frolicking Falls. It took Alonzo just 3 weeks to complete this life-size sculpture of 3 young horses. Like all of his work, they are anatomically correct in every detail. In 1986, Alonzo exhibited his work for the first time. It was very popular, and today his work is on constant display at a gallery in Colorado, USA. Alonzo's special ability had helped him deal with his autism. He is now able to communicate better and lead a more independent life. He has a job and his own apartment. He enjoys doing weightlifting at a gym. But sculpture is still his main passion. Alright. So that's it for Alonzo Clemens, and now let's go to Richard Waldron. Alright, let me have his name spelled correctly. Tadeusz, is it right? Tadeusz Waldron was an officer in the Polish army who decided to settle in Scotland after the Second World War. He married a Scottish primary school teacher called Olive, and together they started a family. Their son Richard was clearly unlike other children from an early age. His behavior was extremely repetitive. He would spend hours playing the same note on the piano. He used to spend hours staring at illustrations in the books. Schools refused to teach him because he was difficult. In those days, little was known about autism, and so Richard was simply described as being mentally disabled. Richard's parents found a school for him when he was 6, and his teacher there discovered his talent for drawing. What I saw was magic, she recalls. I couldn't believe my eyes. Richard hardly spoke, and his drawings were a form of communication. He sketched picture of his everyday life, his school bus, his breakfast, characters from the television. He always drew from the memory, and the details were always perfectly accurate. He drew so much that his parents had difficulty providing enough paper, so he drew too much. In 1970, when Richard was 18, his works were exhibited for the first time in an art gallery. The exhibition was reported on a BBC News program, and his career as an artist suddenly took off. Margaret Thatcher, who later became the British Prime Minister, described him as her favorite artist, and before long, he was traveling around the world. His favorite country to visit is the USA, because there he was treated as an artist, not an artist with learning difficulties. Alright, so we have finished reading the text about the two greatest men that he has suffered from like autism, but not because of that they feel sad about themselves. They have gone through it, and now they became famous and well-known artists. Alright, so these men are very cool men, I assume so. Alright, so we have finished reading it, and now let's start doing the exercise. We only have one exercise to do tonight. It is the exercise number 3 on page number 98. Alright, so we can now do the exercise because we have finished reading it, and it tells me to read the text again, and I would ask them again, are you crazy? Just kidding. Read the text again, choose the correct answer. So we have 4 questions, and in each question we have 4 answers. So by reading the text, you will have to choose one appropriate answer, most appropriate answer, to circle to the questions. Alright? So I will now let you like having a little break so you can reread it and do the exercise. So after the break, I'll be correcting it. Alright? So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the next part of the show, Learn English with Sĩ and some show. Alright? Thank you so much.